good. Who is talking in between? Complete silence now. Situation 1. Sun rises from the east. Yes. Situation 2. An apple falling from a tree goes up. Third, a ball selected from silence. A ball selected from one white and one black ball is a white ball. Yes, I said maintain silence. Now if I ask you, what are the chances of each of these? What are the chances that sun rises from east? One shake. Full chances means 100%. Okay. Then if I ask Swara, what are the chances that an apple falling from the tree goes up? 0. Apple falling from the tree will go down only. Yes, maybe if one shake falls from the tree, there are chances that he may go up also. Okay, but an apple falling from the tree will come down, only 0% chances. And Ravlani, what are the chances that a ball selected from one white and one black ball is a white ball?
50%.
50% chances. Is everyone clear with this? Same thing, if I express between 0 to 1, can I say 1, 0 and 0.5?
Yes.
If I express the same percentage in a number between 0 to 1, then it is 1, 0 and 0.5. This is called probability. So that chapter will start today. Part 2, chapter 1, that is probability. Give the heading in your notebooks. Statistics, part 2, chapter 1, probability. So, what is probability? It is a chance. Be attentive. What is probability? It is a chance of occurrence of any event. What is probability? It is a chance of occurrence of any event. Okay, but don't write this in exams. There are full chances of getting 0 marks. Because this is not the proper definition defined in your books. They have defined they have given 3 different definitions. One is mathematical definition of probability. Second is statistical definition of probability. And the third one is classical definition of probability. You have to write those definitions only. So this definition I will not even make you write in the notebook. So that there are no chances that you write it in exams. Okay? We'll directly discuss the terms, and these 3 definitions are very comprehensive. That we'll see at the end of the chapter. When the chapter is over, then we'll understand those 3 definitions. Given the heading of probability, everyone in the notebooks? Okay? So we will straight away take up with certain terms to understand the concept of probability. Today only concepts and terms will be done. Practical questions will start in the next lecture. Okay, exercise 1.1 will start in the next lecture. Today not needed. Okay. Terms. By the way, probability originated from the concept of gambling. It originated from the concept of gambling means in earlier days, when people used to gamble, even these days, when people gamble, they always first find out the probability or the chance that the opponent has which cards, what are the chances. So if you get, suppose, let us say that you get trio. if you play that king pati. In that you get a trio of, let us say, 10 or trio of jack or trio of queen or trio of king, something like that. You'd always like to know your opponent has that trio or not. Then only your chances of winning are. So there the concept of probability originated. But the best thing is, it originated from a negative activity, but it is used now in the maximum productive activities. All the production and manufacturing companies use probability to check their quality of production. People use it to find out whether they are giving proper customer satisfaction or not. So it developed from a negative thing, but it is now used in maximum positive areas. Pascal and Fermat. Pascal. Okay, Pascal, Pascal and Fermat, Fermat. They developed the concept of probability. Okay, who has given the concept of probability? Pascal and Fermat. Let us not imagine they are playing gambling, something like that. But they developed the concept of what is the probability that I would take care of mathematics my only. Yes, now terms we will discuss here. First one, random experiment. Each and every term you'll understand it first, then only you'll write it. First term is random experiment. See, what is a random experiment? Understand the concept. First of all, a random experiment is the one which can be repeated under the same conditions, identical conditions again and again. You can repeat that outcome, experiment again and again. For example, if you throw a cubical dice, then can you repeat that again and again or not? Yes. If you are playing Ludo, you are playing snakes and ladders, you do that again and again. You will throw, then other person, then you again and the other person. So what is that? That is random experiment. You can repeat it under the identical conditions. Secondly, you can find out the possible outcomes. It results in various outcomes. It results in various outcomes. Like just now I gave you the example, you throw a cubical dice. So if you throw a cubical dice, then you can get 1, you can get 2, you can get 3, you can get 4, you can get 5, and you can get 6. Something like this, right? So that experiment can result in various outcomes. But those outcomes cannot be predicted before the experiment is undertaken. Before you take up the experiment, you cannot predict which one will occur. Before throwing it with 100% surety, you cannot say 2 will only come. Or before throwing with 100% surety, you cannot say 5 will only come. Such an experiment is called random experiment. Is everyone clear with it? So any experiment which can be repeated under the same conditions, which results in various outcomes, but those outcomes cannot be predicted before the experiment, is called random experiment. Any confusion with the 3 characteristics? Main explanation of terms I'll give you, then terms you have to again remember the language of textbook only. So that I'll make you underline in the textbook later. Okay? So mark it up, mark it up. Textbooks, close it and keep it in the back, they are not required to do. Written this everyone? Now next term be attended. The second term is sample space. It is denoted as U. Now what is sample space be attended? Just now we discussed that the random experiment results in various outcomes. Now these outcomes, if you make a list of it in a set form, you list it out in a set form, it is called sample space. So what is that sample space? It is a set of all the outcomes of random experiment. It is the set of all the outcomes of random experiment. Like just now I discussed with you that suppose the experiment is throwing a dice. Okay, suppose the experiment is throwing a dice. Then what are the outcomes possible of throwing a dice? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The set form when you write this 6 outcomes, it is called sample space. Any confusion in this? So what is sample space? Set of all the outcomes of random experiment. Any confusions? Right now. Who all are writing it still? How many outcomes do you find here? It is denoted as n. The number of outcomes of sample space are denoted as n. So write down below that. The number of outcomes in a sample space is denoted as n. The number of outcomes in sample space is denoted as n. Like here you can say n is equal to 6. 6 outcomes means you can say n is equal to 6. Any doubts with this? Then third term, event. Who is this? Third term is event. Now what is event? Understand it? It is a subset of, listen everyone, it is a subset of sample space of random experiment. Event is a subset of sample space of random experiment. Means it is a subset of sample space of random experiment means it is denoted by any of the letters. It can be denoted by A, B, C, any of the letters. For example, suppose you again throw a dice. If you throw a dice, what will be your sample space? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now suppose I say that event A. I want complete silence when I am writing on the board. Last 2 benches I have told you earlier also you people talk a lot. Suppose event A is the event of getting multiple of 3. Event A is event of getting multiple of 3. Can you tell me in this sample space which are the multiples of 3? This is called event A. Is it a subset of the sample space or not? So event is the subset of sample space of random experiment. Did you understand this portion? The number of outcomes here are denoted as m, means m is equal to 2. The number of outcomes in the event are denoted as m. M is equal to 2. Okay, so write on this. Yes, now we are in the 4. Okay, below that write the number of outcomes. The number of outcomes of an event are denoted as m. Now fourth, we discuss various types of events. First of all, 2 types of events. I am just orally discussing it. I am not making you write in the notebook. Just as a concept it is there, otherwise in practical questions it is not relevant. There are 2 main types of events. One is certain event and the other is impossible event. Certain event is such an event which includes all the outcomes of sample space. If I tell you event B is the event of getting a number less than equal to 6. Event B is the event of getting a number less than equal to 6. Then what are the outcomes will be included? This is called certain event. It is definitely going to take place. If you throw a dice, you will get a number less than equal to 6 only. So it is certain event. 100% chances of getting the same. And second is impossible event. Impossible event is a null set. If I ask you event C is the event, Sarvesh, stand up. If I ask you event C is the event of getting a number greater than 7, you throw a dice, will you get a number greater than 7? Impossible event, it's a null set. Did everyone understand it? Certain event includes all the outcomes of sample space. And impossible is a null set. Don't talk in between. Is everyone clear with this? So now there are different types of, did I denote the definition of M, the number of outcomes? Now first one is complementary event. No definition we will be writing, just be attentive. Put your pens down. Complementary event, it is denoted as A dash or A bar or AC. Okay, either you denote the complementary event as A dash or A bar or AC. We will be always using this symbol A dash. Okay, we will always be next. We will always be using the symbol A dash. Now, suppose this is your sample space. You will understand with the Venn diagram. This kind of rectangle whenever we make, for some people it is called a Venn diagram. Okay. So here, suppose this Venn diagram is sample space U, and here we have event A occurring in the corner. Then whatever portion is left out, other than event A, whatever portion is left out is called A complement. Okay, whatever portion in sample space is left out other than event A, that part is called A complement. Now, what is this A complement? You'll say the set of all the outcomes of sample space U other than the elements of event A. The set of all the outcomes of sample space U other than the elements of event A. And how do we obtain it always? Sample space minus A. Because every outcome of sample space other than event A is included. So like for example, if I ask you the same example, what is A complement? Then what is sample space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minus event A 3, 6. If you exclude 3 and 6, what will remain? 1, 2, 4, 5. That is A complement. Did everyone understand this portion? So all the outcomes of sample space U other than the elements of event A. What we will be doing is throughout the chapter, whenever A complement comes, we will not read it as complement. We will read it as not. So it will be easy to understand. Instead of reading it A dash or A complement, we will read A not. For example, sample space is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A is 3, now what is A not? 1, 2, 4, 5. So by reading it as A not, it immediately becomes clear in your mind what you have to find out. So instead of reading it as A dash or A complement, we will always read the word complement as not. A not. Any confusion in this? Let it out. You done that, everyone? Raise your hand if you are still writing it. Any confusions up till here? All are able to understand the terms? Yes, diagram is to be done. Okay, but we need a simple diagram, only very beautiful diagrams may not be done. Now, fifth term, the attentive, intersection of two events. Intersection of two events. It is denoted as inverted U. It is denoted as inverted U. And what is this A intersection? We understand this. Stop talking in between. Suppose there is a sample space where it has two events A and B. It has two events A and B. Then whatever elements occur in event A and B both is called A intersection B. Okay, here remember that whenever you define it in the textbook, you'll use the word and. Whenever you define intersection, you'll use the word and. Meaning you'll say if A and B are two events of sample space U, then the set of elements of event A and B both is called A intersection. You'll use the word and in between. Okay, the set of elements of A and B both is A intersection B. For example, Same, throwing a dice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We already discussed that A is getting a multiple of 3, that was 3 and 6. Now suppose B is getting a multiple of 2. Then what are the multiples of 2? 2, 4, 6. Okay, meaning to say A includes 3 and 6. So 3 and 6. B includes 2, 4 and 6. What is common in the two? 6. Okay, means A intersection B is equal to 6. Any doubts with this? Yes, did you all get this?
Yes, sir.
Anyone who did not understand intersection of two events? Shall I take up the next term? Now sixth term is union of two events. Be attentive. Union of two events. It is denoted as U. Now, union of two events means this is the sample space U, this is event A, this is event B. Now, how do you denote the union of two events is, it will include, Nanda, wait a minute. It will include the elements of A It will include the elements of A. One shade. It will include the elements of A or B. It will include the elements of A or B or both. Whenever you define it, you define it in this manner only. Here you have to use the word. Here you have to use the word. You will say the set of, if A and B are two events of sample space U, then the set of elements of event A or B or both is called union of two events. For example, this what I had written earlier, same thing if you discuss. Then what will belong to A or B or both? 3, 6, 2, 4 means 2, 4, 2, 3, 4, 6. Same example what I gave earlier. What elements will belong to A or B or both? 2, 3, 4, 6. This is A union. Any confusion in that? There you go. Not clear? Not clear. The set of elements belonging to A, that is 3, or B, that is 2 and 4, or both, that is 6. So A is 3, 6, B is 2, 4, 6. What will belonging to A or B or both? 2, 3, 4 and 6. Now, mutually exclusive events. Be attentive. Whenever mutually exclusive events come, Divajit, once I start speaking, I want 100% attention to that. Now, for onwards, if I don't find it, then 7th term, 7 times you write. Mutually exclusive events means you'll just remember one characteristic of that, that intersection will always be null set. Intersection of those events will always be null set. Means something like this. This is sample space U, the Venn diagram. This is event A. This is event B. Do you find any intersection or anything common in the two? No. That is null set. Okay, practically speaking, if I say peace between India and Pakistan, peace between India and Pakistan is mutually exclusive. It cannot occur together. Those events which cannot occur together, they are mutually exclusive. Okay, for example, if you throw a dice, we already have seen the sample space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now suppose event A is getting at least, at most 2. Event A is getting at most 2. Means can I say 1 and 2? At most 2 means 2 or less than 2. Event B is getting at least 4. At least 4 means B equals to 4, 5 and 6. Now if I ask you what is A intersection B, what is common in these two? None. So this is mutually exclusive events. They cannot occur together. Is everyone clear with the concept? So throughout the chapter, remember, mutually exclusive means intersection is none. Carry it on. Next term, there in the exhaustive events. I said once I start speaking, complete silence. Now for mutually exclusive events, you'll remember the characteristic A intersection B is null set. For exhaustive events, remember A union B is entire sample space U. A union B is entire sample space U. Many Venn diagrams are possible. One of the ways I can show it is this way. Suppose this is sample space U. Then this is event A. In blue is event A. Then this is event B. In red is event B. In blue is event A, in red is event B. Now if I ask you what is A union B, what is entire A union B? Will you get entire sample space or not? What is A union B is the entire sample space? This is called exhaustive events. For example, suppose I reverse this. I reverse this means I say U is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Instead of at most 2, I say at least 2. Now what will A include? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Instead of at least 4, I make it at most 4. Then B will include 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if I ask you what is A union B, A includes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. B includes 1, 2, 3, 4. A union B will include 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does it form the entire sample space or not? Yes. These are called exhaustive events. Okay. What is common in the two A and B? 2, 3 and 4. 2, 3, 4 is common. There can be events which are mutually exclusive as well as exhaustive. Like these are mutually exclusive but not exhaustive. Because intersection is? But what is A union B? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. It is not sample space. 3 is not there. So they are exclusive but not exhaustive. These are exhaustive but not exclusive because intersection is possible. What is intersection between A and B? 2, 3, 4 is common. So they are exhaustive but not mutually exclusive. But I say dice is thrown 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Event A is getting an even number. Which are the even numbers? 2, 4, 6. B is getting an odd number. 1, 3, 5. What is A intersection B? Null set. 2, 3, 4. Intersection 1, 3, 5. Nothing common. Are they mutually exclusive? Yes. What is A union B? 2, 3, 4. Union 1, 3, 5. 2, 4, 6. Union 1, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So getting an even number and odd number is mutually exclusive as well as exhaustive. So both are also possible. Did all of you understand this? Let have this exhaustive events. Which schools this chapter is started other than Convent, Basil and Mothers? BHS also is there. Any other school? It's a complicated but interesting chapter. If you understand it systematically, it will not be a trouble. And in this chapter, when I solve the questions, I'll not have much participation involved. I'll only be explaining it because the moment you try to apply your mind in a different direction, you get confused. In this chapter, I want you all to go in one direction only, which I explained you. So if I ask you, you'll start going in different directions, and then you'll get confused. You'll never understand. Written that everyone exhausted? Last term for today. Difference events. Put your pens down and again understand it first. Now, difference events, there are two different difference events possible. Listen here. One is called A minus B. The other is called B minus A. All the concepts understand that. A minus B means this is event A, this is event B in a sample space U. Now, can I say that in this event A, this is the part where B is also occurring?
Yes.
In this part, is B also occurring or not?
Yes.
From A minus B, exclude this part. A minus B means from A remove B. So what is A minus B? This part is A minus B. Same way, this is event A, this is event B, sample space U. Now if I ask you that this is event B and in this part A is also occurring. So what is B minus? From B you remove A. If you remove A from the B, then what will remain? This part only. That is called B minus A. Did everyone understand it? Any confusions in this? Now, how would we find that is? Can I say A minus B is equal to A minus A intersection B? See the Venn diagram. A minus B means from A, what are we subtracting? This part, what is this part? A intersection B. Same way, B minus A means B minus A intersection B. From B, what are we subtracting? A intersection B. Okay. A minus B is also called A occurs, but B does not occur. As you can see, here A occurs and in some part B also occurs, but in this part A occurs but B does not occur. This is also called B occurs but A does not occur. Therefore, it is also denoted as A occurs but B does not occur. A intersection B not. And this is also denoted as B occurs but A not. A does not occur. And it is also called only event A occurs. Okay, in this part what happens? Only A occurs, B does not occur. And this is also called only event B occurs. Why so many languages are given? Because anything can be asked in question. They can straight away ask you find A minus B. They can ask you the language, find difference, event A occurs but B does not occur. They can ask you in symbols, find A intersection B dash, B not. Or they can also ask you the question, only event A occurs. So all of them means difference event A minus B. Is everyone clear with all these concepts?
Yes.
Very good. So practical questions based on these will start on Monday. Complete English again. Bye everyone.
Bye, sir.